Anyway, yeah, it's been a while since I've done a vlog or anything like this. But Sunday I went and saw the FNAF movie with a college group, and well, I mean, it's been about 10 years since I've seen or done anything FNAF related. I played through 1 to 4, did FNAF World. I did not do. I watched Sister Location. I did not do like Security Breach or Ultimate Custom Night or Pizzeria Simulator. I don't think. I think I watched them play them. I just didn't play them myself. So, how was it? And this is your obligatory spoiler warning, because this will be a short overview of some plot points that I took during the movie. Let's get into it. The movie begins with another random security guard, which through word of mouth was supposed to be Markiplier running away from the animatronics, getting caught, and being stuffed into a suit. Pretty standard stuff. And those Freddy hits, they would definitely kill you. No questions asked. The main character is Mike. It's definitely Mike Schmidt, but they don't tell us that until like 5 minutes left in the movie. There's like a career counselor named like Steve something, and he said like Mike, and they just left it there, and they always refer to him as Michael. We all know it's Mike Schmidt because it's supposed to fall from F1, and that is something that will be a bit weird because it doesn't seem to follow like take the games as its major canon. I've heard that it more so follows like the books. Mike has this little sister named Abby, and previously had a little brother named Garrett, who got kidnapped on a camping trip in Nebraska. And Mike wants to find who the kidnapper and presumed killer of Garrett is. Abby is implied to be mentally challenged and really likes drawing pictures. Let's see here. The restaurant has a bit of an so we get into the first night because Mike got fired from his old security gig. So Steve hooked him up with a new security gig, and it was a pretty funny scene. You have one job: keep the place clean and like keep security. That's 2 jobs. You'll see that line later on. So he goes to the restaurant, and it's a bit off. I can't exactly say like what makes it a bit off, but it's just a tad bit off. It's more so like the FNAF. Like it's like a mashup of FNAF 1 and FNAF 2, the restaurants from them. There is no phone call and there is no phone guy. Instead, phone guy gets replaced with one scene with a security training tape that gets corrupted and prevents us from seeing the animatronics. And as someone who did not watch like any of the trailers, I did not know what to expect with the animatronics. But goes to find them, and, and they look really good. Like they're real things. They're like actually being like controlled and stuff, and they just look good, plain and simple. So anyway, one of the movie likes to have jump scares with a tiny little balloon boy figurine instead of any of the animatronics. Like opens up the cabinet and gets jump scared by them, and that's the first balloon boy figure jump scare we see. He gets to 6 a.m. There is no bell. Very disappointing. Honestly, ruins the movie anyway. Then we move on. We get to Sparky's with a certain theorist playing as a waiter. He's named fucking Nath. And he says the line. Anyway, so Mike has an estranged aunt who wants to take custody of Abby because she'll get money from it. She is totally a Karen and has the Karen, even has the Karen haircut. But then, so he goes. They like go to the Sparkies. Matt Pat is there, and he's trying to be aware. And then he's like, you do know that lunch is the most important meal of the day. And then one of the two people that she's talking to says, I thought it was breakfast. And then he says, some people say that, but it's just a theory. He said the line. Anyway, we get to night 2, and Foxy gets free. Pretty stock standard stuff. There weren't really like any animatronics roaming around on night 1. There was no mention of the animatronics getting a bit quirky at night. But yeah, Foxy got free on night 2, and we can see some more of the supernatural elements of the movie coming into play, or just really the franchise. As Mike sleeps on the job, he keeps having a dream where he meets the 5 missing children and trying to fix the past. Anyway, he gets scratched up by Foxy somehow in the dream, somehow not dying. Uh, Main character moment. But then there's a police officer outside. He goes and meets them. It's Vanessa. Um, he's still not like giving out his last name. So anyway, Vanessa turns the animatronics on. They sing a song that has lyrics going to like go to sleep. I forget what the name of the song is, but yeah, it has very obvious messaging, considering that one of Mike's main things to do is sleep. Anyway, it's revealed that Max, Abby's babysitter, is a bit of a traitor in working with the thugs. 4 thugs come to trash the place after Mike leaves on the second night. And well, the animatronics tend to get a bit quirky during the day. So then, yeah, one of them goes into the kitchen, finds Carl the cupcake, then finds Chica, and then Carl munches his face off. It's not the bite of 87 yet. Another one, like a biker dude, runs into a closet and gets killed by Bonnie. And then the main one gets murdered by Foxy. And then finally, Max comes in, sees the spirit of a child, goes into the back room where there's a Freddy there. Puts down a chair, gets on it, gets grabbed, pulled in, chomped in half. That's a little bit more than a bite, if I have to say so. So anyway, with Abby's babysitter dead, Mike is forced to bring her to the restaurant with him. And she gets up and goes out and, starts screaming and stuff. Now, whereas most people would be a bit terrified that Abby's gonna die, I was not, for 2 reasons. One, she's the main character. She is a main character, so she's not dying soon. 2, she's a child. And the animatronics are not only pre-programmed to be more golly towards children, but they are also children themselves. Lo and behold, when Mike goes to save her, the animatronics are tickling her and having a fun time. The screams are a bit misleading. I mean, do you scream when you get tickled? I don't. And so, anyway, they have a time, and the animatronics get visibly sad when Abby leaves. And this is where we now get to learn that Abby knows of the missing children, that they're she's made friends with them all, and she's some kind of psychic. Again, mentally challenged children in movies just kind of have superpowers. Then we move on to what is it, night 4? It should be, I think. Abby comes back, doing all the things. Vanny's there too. They like make a fort and stuff. It's a really goofy scene. I suggest watching it. It's probably on YouTube. And then we get to see in the back rooms some spring locks and what might be Circus Baby. It did not really look anything like Circus Baby though. I'll tell you that much. So then Abby goes and strums Bonnie's guitar and gets like almost electrocuted, and then Vanessa's really mad. She's like, "Don't bring her back here, or I will shoot you." And then we kind of have this running joke of where people get really mad at Mike all the time. Abby has asked like if Vanessa was here to arrest Mike and why everyone is really angry when talking to Mike and stuff like that. But anyway, moving on, we can see that Mike is absolutely addicted to sleeping drugs. He goes back on the 5th night and just kind of yanks some sleeping drugs from the from a poor little pharmacist. Says, "What an asshole." Anyway, goes back to the restaurant. It's night 5, final night. He goes there. He falls asleep. The missing children, give him an ultimatum. If he gives them Abby, he can continue to dream about living a life with Garrett. Like, wants to, and then actually decides, yeah, no, I don't think I do. Never mind. This isn't right. I can't. Then he gets, like, attacked and, like, beaten up and, like, all that stuff, and finally falls out. During this, at home, Abby has been babysat by the aunt, who, well, they both hate, but it's kind of necessary at this point. And when the aunt sits down to like watch some midnight TV, and then, well, it's me. It's Golden Freddy there, or at least what is presumably Golden Freddy. It's Freddy, but like with a missing ear and stuff. It's a different character, obviously. So then they get into a taxi, which is driven by YouTuber Corey X Kenshin. I did not know this watching the movie because I don't watch Corey X Kenshin, unfortunately. But you know, the animatronic gets in, makes the taxi like kind of wobble around, and then it's kind of a little bit of a jump scare. So then they go to the restaurant. During this, Vanessa is patching up Mike and drops the final lore on us. The dead children are hidden inside the animatronics, somehow not making the entire place smell. The killer was William Afton, Vanessa's father. And that's going to be important very soon. Anyway, Mike goes to pretty much electrocute all the animatronics and save Abby. And then he finally comes face to face with Springtrap. Or Spring Bonnie right now. It's not trapped yet. But then William Afton is revealed to be the job counselor that gave Mike the job in the first place. Vanessa saves Abby from Foxy and then goes to stop William. She shoots him in the chest, and this will be important alongside something else soon. But anyway. William tells Vanessa that she had one job, to keep Mike in the dark and kill him if he got too close. There's a throwback to that's 2 jobs. Anyway, so Abby starts scribbling up a drawing of William killing the children, because on a wall of drawings, there is a picture of William being very friendly with the children. And it is revealed that the drawings control them somehow. Anyway, William then stabs Vanessa in the stomach, unfortunately, and Abby puts up the picture. And now the animatronics start to rebel. Carl jumps on Spring Bonnie, chewing a hole in the suit and activating the spring. Which, might I say, the spring locks in this are quite a bit more resilient than we're used to seeing. Usually they'll like trigger with a poke or a drop of water, but here they survive not only like a full body electrocution from a taser, a bullet, and then finally an actual like hole being ripped in the suit finally got it off. And so the spring traps start activating. William falls to his knees, picks up the head. I always come back. Puts it on, and then Mike and Abby start leaving. Pick Vanessa up and get her to the hospital. Anyway, Mike and Abby now have a good relationship. Presumably, the aunt was removed from the household because she's dead. Um, Abby then says like she wants to go visit the animatronics, to which Mike has a very clear expression of "Are you kidding me?" And it's like, "Sure, why not?" And then we cut to presumably Cassidy locking William up in the safe room, and that is where the movie ends. Except we have credits brought to you by The Living Tombstone. Pretty nice. And there is definitely a sequel, and in fact, I'm pretty sure it's actually already being produced as we speak. And Scott hopes to get Markiplier on for the scene next time. There is a credits scene where Corey's trying to sleep, and then Balloon Boy comes into the taxi for one last jump scare, and then finally a distorted voice at the end spells out, "Come find me." How was the movie? It was all right. It was pretty good, honestly. I don't trust the critics. Never trust the critics. They're never reliable, and I think everyone. But my review, it was pretty good. Could it have been better? Yes. Was it missing some things? Yes. The fact that they wanted to say Mike's name so early, like 10 minutes in, but then saved it until 10 minutes until the end. Huge letdown. Um, our YouTuber cameos being so short were honestly pretty good because you don't want the YouTubers to be like front and center in the movie. And if Markiplier were to have died at the beginning of the movie, he would not be able to return for the sequel. So who knows? Maybe he'll get a pretty big role in the sequel. We can also potentially see cameos for Dawko, 8-Bit Ryan, another Matt Pat, another Corey Kenshin, a bunch more other YouTubers cameoing in the sequel and however many sequels they want to make of this. The Afton family, well, it's a bit more of a mess now. We have two known Aftons in the movie timeline, William and Vanessa. Presumably, there's also a Mrs. Afton because I mean, you can't really have a. Sorry, I don't really think you can have a Vanessa Afton without having a Mrs. Afton, unless William was nice enough to adopt someone. That doesn't really suit him now, does it? But we know from the games there is a Mrs. Afton, Michael Afton, crying child Afton, Evan, Chris, whatever you call him, and an Elizabeth Afton. Four missing Aftons. We also didn't actually get any names for the missing children. Didn't really have much correlation between which animatronics they possess. Because I don't think Susie Chica, um, Jeremy, I think is Bonnie's name. I don't know. we might have had a few Gabriel lines. I don't know if Fritz actually said anything. Cassidy definitely said stuff and had a fairly significant role in the movie. But yeah, like four of the five missing children didn't really do anything other than just exist. And then on a note with that, no mention of the Emilys, Henry or Charlie. And we know those characters exist in the FNAF universe thanks to the games. Obviously, there's no like toy animatronics, weird animatronics. Springtrap will be back sometime. No nightmares, no toys, no like any other form of animatronic. But then there's Balloon Boy, which is just weird. I mean, I guess like if you want to have like jump scares riddled throughout the movie, you gotta choose like something. And Balloon Boy is like very unassuming, we'll say. So my overall rating of the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, give it around an 8 to 9 out of 10. I really liked it. I mean, I just like video game movies. I like the Sonic movies, even though I've never played Sonic. I love the Mario movie. Never played Mario. And I am very curious to see where we go from here. And now, one final question remains: does this pave the way for more indie game movies in the future? Do we have the potential of a Deltarune movie once Toby's done with that? Do we have or perhaps is it just gonna be like a Poppy Playtime or Garden of Banban or other like indie horror games geared towards children? Where will gaming movies go from here? And with that being said, I thank you all for watching, and of course, have a good day.